Remote work sucks, man. They fully lied to me. I can't even see the screen when I'm on the beach. They said you'd have ultimate freedom. They said you wouldn't have to work scheduled hours. They said you could travel the world completely free and that I could work on the beach. I can't even see the screen on the beach. And as for total freedom to go wherever I want, what even is there to see out there? I mean, it's so big, but what's actually out there? I mean, you've got Asia full of amazing food for hardly any money and beautiful landscapes. You've got Europe, Rome, so full of culture. It's too much, you know? And they lied. They lied about remote work. They said you could go anywhere and do anything. Well, they didn't lie about that, actually. That one's completely true. They lied about meeting people. Oh, wait. Actually, no, they didn't. They lied about... What else did they lie about? Oh no, that was pretty much it. The only thing they lied about was being able to work on the beach. I've been travelling for 10 years. I've been fully remote for about 10 years. I've been all over. And the only thing that wasn't great about remote work was that the glare on the screen when I was on the beach was too much to see. There's been hard things, so I don't want to lie about that. There are hard things about remote work. Probably the hardest thing is having the discipline to actually get on with the work that you need to do when you get to a new place. Because you arrive somewhere you've never been before, and if you're anything like me, what you actually want to do, and the reason that you're doing remote work is because you want to explore and you want to travel. You want to be on your own schedule. Or if you are on your own schedule and you do work for yourself like I do, it can be quite hard to balance the work. Because you arrive somewhere, you want to explore, but you've got a call or you've got a client call, you've got to get this work done. And so having that discipline to actually get on with the work is probably one of the hardest things. The rest of it, we live in a world now where you can look up on your phone a hotel for the night. You can buy flights extremely cheap. Flights have been commoditized, right? You go on something like Kayak or Skyscanner and you're filtering by price. You're not filtering by comfort or anything else. You're filtering by price. And so at all times you can get the best price for your flight. You can filter hotels based on price. So if you're really on a budget, you can go on a shoestring budget. And we live in a world now where it's not that dangerous in most places to go and travel. You don't lose connection with your family. You don't lose connection with your friends. If you imagine trying to be remote in something like the 60s or the 50s, when there wasn't the internet, there wasn't phones really, not mobile phones anyway. If you went to another country, people didn't hear from you. You could send a letter, but that was all the communication you had. And if they wanted to send a letter back to you, you had to basically tell them, I'm going to be in this place at this time, and if you want to reach me, that's where you're going to have to go. The hardest part of being remote now is basically that you have to be disciplined enough to do it. That's if you're working for yourself. There's some situations, for example, if you're working a job remote and you are on someone else's schedule, that is extremely hard. I've met a lot of people and they're working in hostels, for example, and they've got a group of friends that they've met, and the group of friends who are mostly traveling have said, all right, let's go out and see this thing today. And they have to say, oh, actually I can't because I'm on a schedule. And let's say you're working in the UK for a UK company, but you're actually working in Asia. you're 5 hours ahead. So you get up in the morning, your company isn't awake yet, and you start at 9 a.m. in the UK time. Well, your time in Asia is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you like to party, then you have all of the day not doing your work, and then at 4, when everyone starts to gather around, having a beer, having a chat, suddenly you have to start work. And you can hear everyone in the hostel that you're in having a good time, meeting people, laughing. And you're sat there doing the job that potentially you're only doing because it's paying you enough to travel. So that can be very hard. Another hard thing, potentially, if you haven't got a lot of referrals coming in for your own business, it can be quite hard to meet customers in a country like the UK or the USA while you're out in Asia. There's still a slight barrier with many people where they think if you're traveling, you're on holiday, even if your whole life is based around being traveling. Your whole life is remote, you've got the discipline, it doesn't affect your work. What difference does it make if you don't actually need me in your office? What difference does it make if I'm out here? I think it's a jealousy thing, potentially. There's also just some inbuilt mindsets in a lot of the company owners which are based in the UK or they're based in the USA, where they haven't come round to the fact that given that we do digital marketing, you can do it from pretty much anywhere. And so the hardest thing about this is discipline. And the rest of it, which is total control of your time, total freedom to go wherever you want, that's not a lie. That has been one of the best things of this. I do digital marketing. I do freelance digital marketing. So I work on people's websites. I do advertising campaigns for them, social media campaigns, email marketing. If you do need any of those, please send me a message. And because I don't have to be on a specific schedule, it means that when I get to somewhere, I can go out and explore, and then when I'm a bit tired, I can go back and get a bit of work done, and then I can go out again. And if you're in a country like Asia, you don't really need to work too much in order to pay for your lifestyle. It's very cheap to be out in Asia. Yeah, the only thing you can't do is work on the beach because you can't see the screen.